Do you feel? Do you think boarding school traumatized you, guy? I mean, okay. The answer is yes. But do you think? Hold on. But do you think it is something that you need like therapy to like really like digest and get out of your system?
I wouldn't say I need therapy for what it did because I also see very good in what it did. So it didn't fully traumatize me in the way that has affected
You in a negative way that
that's
requires
now
like
affecting my relationship with people. It's
yeah.
affecting my job. It's affecting my. It's not that deep. Let's go back further into the history of you.
Mm-hmm.
You went to school in Hillcrest?
Yep. Went to Crest. Shout out to Crest, man. Hillcrest.
Hillcrest.
Actually, to be
In
honest, I
Plateau
started.
States, for
Yes,
those who
yes,
don't
yes.
know.
By the way, I don't know if you know this, but when people ask me where I'm from, I don't say Anambra State. You know that's right.
You say you're from Jos?
I say I'm from Jos. Yeah. I grew up in Jos, bro. I was in Anambra. Usually in a year, I would be in Anambra for 2 weeks, 3 weeks max, and then the rest of the 340
So were your parents
days.
working in Plateau States?
Yeah, everybody's born and raised in Plateau in my family. At Jankwanu, Ekwa Evangel Hospital. All of us were born there. All of us were born there. But yes, man, I started at Corona Primary, then I went to Hillcrest. By the way, shout out to Corona as well. Went to Hillcrest. That was where my formative years. I loved Hillcrest, man.
Hillcrest. You know, I need to look into why the name Hillcrest.
That's a
Because
good
I feel
point.
like
I don't know.
it might have something to do with Plateau States being a mountainous hill.
I think
place,
it could be. It could be.
Or they might have Hillcrest branches in other
Yes,
places
I
in
think
the
that's.
world.
I think that might be.
So, but Hillcrest, it was started by missionaries.
Yes, missionary school, American missionaries to be precise.
So a lot of the teachers were white.
A lot of our teachers were in fact American and usually would be white American. We did have the occasional black American teacher, but that was rare.
I think that's one similarity and actually a difference between where I went to school. I went to school in BCA, Bethany Christian Academy.
Shout out to BCA. My brother went there too, as you guys know.
Right.
Well, you guys didn't know, but now you
They don't
guys
know,
know,
but
yeah.
now they do. But it was also started by missionaries, by the Great Commission movement.
I didn't know that.
But we did not really have white teachers. I'm trying to think, am I missing any? No. Don't recall seeing any.
Yeah.
At most, some missionaries would come when we had like crusades or revivals or church stuff. They would come from out of town.
But none were like staffs.
Yeah, but then so I'm guessing you guys had some kind of strict rules that had to be that had to do with like the religious side of the school. So what kind of things were you guys not allowed to do? That were set rules.
Honestly, I think I would say that my school was a very liberal school, man. Like people were just generally not allowed to do like the stupid things, like you know.
Okay, so
but there was nothing like
let me paint a
particularly
picture.
like.
Were boys allowed into the girls' dorm?
Well, it was a day school, so we didn't really have. Well, we had hostels.
You saw my confusion.
Yeah, we had hostels, but a lot of the students were day school. The hostel kids were just guys that were from out of town, essentially, from Lagos.
The hostel kids.
Yes, the hostel kids were allowed to be together.
Like in the same dorm.
In the same dorm, absolutely.
Like, were they living in the same dorm?
They were living in the same dorm, correct. But
So
the girls,
it was co-ed?
It was a co-ed dorm, yes. But the girls had their wing, and then the guys had their wing, and then there was like a living room in between the two wings.
Okay, so if somebody's going from one wing to the other,
You go catch out.
then go catch out.
They go catch out because at the transition point is where the hostel parents stayed.
Oh, so you have to walk past their door before you can make it to the
their
other side.
office and their house and their exactly.
But do people still?
Nah.
You didn't hear of anybody that?
Nah, bro, you might know.
Okay.
Yeah, high school times. I mean, but as you know, but as
try that one this year.
no, haba. No, but the thing we say, like at the end of the day, people if they needed to hang would just leave the dorm and go into the school. I mean, the
yeah,
dorm
true,
was on the camp. Yeah, so we would just, people just on the weekend just go to the field or whatnot. They can go
So
make
I'm guessing
out.
people don't used to enter ceiling.
Nah.
I don't even know why I'm asking. I should know the answer.
Wait, when they enter ceiling for BCA.
Brother.
Wait, when they use ceiling go girls.
But no be say they use ceiling go girls, but it's a mode of transport.
Damn, son.
Not only is it that it is a storage place.
Okay, that one I can see.
Did you people have any kind of contraband, like things you weren't allowed to have on campus?
Nah, bruh.
Nothing.
I mean, unless they're not like weed or stuff like that, yeah. But there's no any you can bring.
You guys didn't have uniforms.
When I was there, there were no uniforms, but now they have uniforms.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So were there any dress codes?
Yes, some of the girls would like to feel frisky sometimes, and obviously it was a missionary school, so they were like, well,
Stop that.
can't really be seen thighs and titties like that, so you got to cover up. But yeah, it wasn't too strict. I mean, people who wore like tight pants and stuff like that. Yeah, nothing too crazy. But I will say this: Hillcrest, I think, was where I learned, like most of my life lessons were learned in Hillcrest, in my opinion. Well, let me not say that, but I learned a lot.
What do you feel were one of the biggest lessons you learned in Hillcrest that have helped you?
So like, let's talk health.
Okay.
Hillcrest was very, 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 very progressive when it comes to like being in shape, being healthy. So everybody was enrolled mandatorily into PEs. We used to have mandatory PEs, obviously, 3 times a week, where they would make us run miles as though we didn't have class or something like, I don't know.
And this was not like part of the, this was not like a,
these are not extracurricular, no.
Yeah,
this is just arts, and it was a class. It was a 45-minute class. So during the day,
so you go and sweat and come back.
bro, you go and sweat and come
and
back.
the whole class will be smelling like.
Yeah. So that's why, I mean, obviously the professors the teachers would try to keep it to a low sweat level, obviously. So they would make us like, but they would make us, anyways. So when it comes to like being healthy, Hillcrest would push, and then we always did extracurricular activities, as you know, ball. Ball with a tear head for Nigeria, you understand? So we always played ball. Our coach, Coach Tula, rest in peace, coach, he was very strict about like, look, drink water, stretch, work out as often as possible, but at least exercise every day. And I think I've held that till today. There's never been, I mean, I don't work out every day today, but at least in the back of my mind when I don't work out, I feel regret in a sense, because in my mind it's just embedded into like me,
No, working out and being fit and being active is very key actually for, your physical health affects your mental health.
1005%.
And not just even like mental health in the state of, oh, I'm sad, so I'll work out and be happy. But like, if you're an artist, if you work out, it helps your mind, the gears in your mind, like,
blood flow is always good, man.
So
I always tell people blood flow is always good.
And sometimes, like, just being active just helps your outlook in things that you should be doing, or it helps move you from a more pessimistic side to an optimistic side. So yeah, but then, so it's not every day that you guys used to run?
No, it wasn't every day. It was like at least minimum twice a week.
Wow.
And then obviously we had mandatory chapel as well. So Hillcrest was strict about at least worshiping God in some capacity as a unit. Every week we would go to chapel. And we would all pray.
That chapel, was it on Sundays?
Wednesdays.
Yeah,
and then they had chapel on Sundays as well, but we had Wednesday chapel.
So the Wednesday chapel, the whole school goes?
The entire school has to go. And we all show up, we all sing, we all pray, we all read the word. And then we go back to class, and then we had
as I say these things and you're like, oh, at least, so at least. In BCA it was every day.
Raw. So you must.
So in the morning, jogging. Every day. 5:30. Except Saturday, because we had the inspection. Where they'll come and you clean all the rooms, sweep the floor, clean the toilets, change your bed sheets to white, from colored bed sheet to white, because it's inspection. You have to be ready. So that day we didn't go running in the morning.
Bro, there should be a book. Anybody that went to boarding school in Nigeria.
No, hey, watch out. Hey, stop there. I'm writing a script.
Are you serious?
It's a boarding school script. So
Mad.
I've seen.
Let me shake you on that one.
I've seen. You have to congratulate me now.
No, yes. Good job.
Thanks.
No problem.
So, but yeah, the whole boarding school experience is
Mad.
filled with
So much content.
bro.
When I hear stories, man.
So we used to run every day. We had assembly every day except Saturday and Sunday. Sunday we had church. But in that assembly, somebody will preach. So we will sing. And then they will do announcements. They might on occasion they might flog one or two people that are misbehaving. It's a public lynching, you know. It's sometimes they'll make you lie down on the table in front of the whole school.
Damn.
Whip you.
Like, what is happening?
Let's not get into that.
You know what's that trauma?
Yeah. You want to unpack that. But, however, I think there's a line of discipline that has positive impact on our resilience as a people, especially people that grew up in that kind of environment. Your chances of surviving harsh conditions are higher if you were in that kind of strict environment where if you just beat you if you do anyhow. Your chance of being disciplined could be higher. Now, that line is very thin because it could move from high chances of survival skills and whatnot and discipline to high chance of being traumatized and broken and damaged when you grow up because of that kind of environment. You understand? Right. So, but there's a line that I feel like if you don't fall on either side, you could be somebody with coconut head. You could be someone that lacks structure, or at least lacks the ability to follow some kind of structure, which is something that in America we see. Someone that lacks respect. I work in city schools. I dey go all these high schools for Baltimore. If you see the way some of these children are talking to their teachers, you say if you go fear, you know that it will not fly in Nigeria. Because in Nigeria, if you do anyhow, you can see anyhow. But it's not as if we all ended up damaged.
Did you consider that child abuse?
What?
When one of your teachers would lash the living daylight out of his students, would you consider that child abuse? I guess.
Do you know what? So this conversation, right? There's some things too that I've been factoring recently in terms of human nature. Is one that is filled with some kind of the curiosity that we have as humans can lead us to be stubborn in natural. That's why children are like crackheads. Naturally. You tell them do one thing, before you know it, they are doing another thing. So but you can't be too mad at them because they don't know any better. Yeah. Now, just like when you get a dog, when a new dog, the way they tame dogs and they tame animals to be able to follow some kind of command. Now it's easier for the animals to do it. But then you can't say it's the same way to tame a dog or train a dog and the same way to train a lion. You understand? There are two different. So just going off of that, there is some amount of discipline that I feel was needed because of how stubborn some of the people were in boarding school. You understand? Fair enough, yeah. So now it's like a case-by-case thing where a teacher may have overreacted at some point, but at some other points, that flogging that they gave them was necessary, that anytime that student should think like they want to go and do that thing again, they will remember, hey, if he give you one or two. Okay,
well, I understand.
If they give you that one or two, you know, go like that. So, to an extent, you can look at it, it's all perspective. You can look at it as child abuse, but then they might have actually saved that child from going down a path of, if this is what you're doing at this age, what will you do 10 years from now if somebody doesn't correct you in a way that will last in your head? So there was some child abuse though.
Right.
There was a lot of it. Yeah. There's different ways you can go about like disciplining people.
Exactly.
But then if you look at the context that we are living in, first of all, they did not allow us to have phone. They didn't allow us to have home clothes. They did not allow us to have food in the hostel. It's only we eat when they give us. Every other thing is contraband. They catch you with any food that is not. They catch you with like spags on a day that they didn't serve spags, or they catch you with like gari, or with cornflakes, or with something, or with like Oasis bakery bread. You know Oasis bakery?
Of course not. What a bakery.
They catch you with shawarma. Who they chop shawarma? Who they make shawarma for school? So if they catch you with something that is not, there's punishment. Right. If you put people in that kind of control, are we in a prison? Obviously, people will break the rules.
Can I ask you something?
You understand?
Do you think boarding school traumatized you guys? I mean, okay, the answer is yes. But do you think? Hold on, but do you think it is something that you need like therapy to like really like digest and get out of your system?
I wouldn't say I need therapy for what it did, because I also see very good in what it did. Right. So it didn't fully traumatize me in the way that has affected
you in a negative way that requires like
affecting my relationship with people, it's affecting my job, it's affecting my it's not that deep. If anything,
sounds like you experienced a lot of hardship, bro. Huh? Sounds like you experienced a lot of hardship.
Yes. Now,
do you know
people considered my school to be a poor school? So all these things I'm describing to you.
A posh school?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, true.
Amongst all the other boarding schools.
Oh yeah, bro.
They considered BCA to be a poor school. Yeah. So you can only imagine what was happening in science school, Kuru.
Guy.
You understand?
Government college.
Government college. St. John Vianney and they and co. Then they suffer for.
Let's address that. Why we say like some of the schools just get some kind of strange name, man? Like St. John Vianney.
What do you mean St. Murumba?
It's a Murumba. Yo, quite a number of saints, yeah.
Yeah, it was the whole Catholic and Christian thing, you know.
I sometimes just wonder like how much of our lives have been influenced like so much by other people that we know nothing about.
That's why earlier I told you that, like for the Nigerian that's living in Nigeria, that fully drank the Kool-Aid, that drank the whole Kool-Aid of the agenda that they brought to us to make us feel like we're backward and we're uncivilized and white Jesus and anything that is white is good, anything that is
black is bad, yeah.
Somebody that drank that whole Kool-Aid is just running like chicken and they have cut their head and just string. But yes, back to boarding school. There was a lot of traumatizing things. However, the context in which, especially my own experience, I can't speak to other people's experience, but especially to my experience, the context that I was in made it bearable, made it like not too bad.
Yeah, I mean, you were going through it. You were going through it with a lot of people as well.
Exactly.
So it's just like a collective, yeah.
When it's a collective thing, it kind of reduces the.
Yeah, because everybody was struggling.
They
struggle. Yeah, exactly, man. When guys just tell me, say the guys wake up at 5, go fetch water for senior. I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, yo, I would have never done that.
Oh, buddy.
Madness.
Buddy.
Madness. Yeah.